Thanks. Hello, everybody. My name's Lisa Hughes. I'm from Reading Muhlenberg Career and Technology Center, and this is the final 10-minute math webinar. Since I know Mr. Pottiger, who's our culinary teacher here, has been listening to a lot of these, I want to say hi, and I'm going to plug him. He's a fabulous teacher, and I do help him a little bit, but he really does a lot of this on his own and is great. So thank you very much. I love my entire staff that I work with. I couldn't do the job I do without them. So with that said, we have about a very quick 10 minutes. I do want to commend all the culinary teachers, because out of all the plC groups, you are the group that has submitted the most to me, and I really appreciate that. And honestly, your other culinary people should probably appreciate that too, because you will get the most out of this, and we will post all of your items online that you have submitted. So basically, at this point, I'm going to go through. I'm going to show some of the things that you have submitted. In fact, most of the things you've submitted, I don't necessarily. Justin has one thing that he submitted as well, but most of this is from you. So thank you very much again, and I'll try to explain it the best I can. And if there's anything that needs to be changed, please feel free to email me. I definitely don't know everything about culinary at all, but I love to learn all this. So with that, let's start. This was submitted by Christy Parks, and I really like this. This was she did a lot of things based on this article. How much should I charge for home-baked foods? A very interesting article, has some really cool things in it. Again, all of these items in full will be posted for you to gain access to. So in order to keep this shorter, I cut and paste some of the things so you could just see what it looks like. But one of the things we find here a lot of times with culinary is students are taught throughout an entire math class that if it's a 5 and under, you round down. And that's something that really sticks with students throughout, and I get that as a math teacher. But I also realize that one thing you have in culinary and anything where you're selling things is you can't afford to round down. You actually have to round up if it's anything over an entire cent or an entire dollar. So this concept of figuring the cost of ingredients, and if you notice I have an arrow, it says it costs about 17.5 cents rounded up to 18 cents. This is the opportunity for you to actually talk to your students and offer them feedback. In fact, I usually, instead of actually giving them the answer, say, why would you do that? As a math teacher, I'm going to tell you that that's not right, but why is it right here? And some students don't understand the concept and other students do, and it's good to have that discussion within your groups. She also submitted some nice worksheets. This one is a restaurant bills, a sample math problems, and what I liked on this, and I think this comes from an online source, and if Christy, if you could at some point in time, if you listen to this, could send us an online source. I'm not 100% sure where it is, but that would be great if we could post that so teachers could use that if they wanted to. What's neat is if you notice there's complexity equals 20, and there's quite a few of these where they get a little harder or not as hard. And I like the fact that this first problem here asks for 2 answers. It's the tip and the total bill. Sometimes it's good for students to not only have to answer in one way or answer just with one answer. It's good to show them that a lot of problems have multi-step answers, so that's a great thing as well. Again, on the other side of this, on the right-hand side, please weigh and measure the following with accuracy. I did notice many similarities with recipe conversions. And a lot of you did submit recipe conversions to me, but in very different ways, so it's good to see a lot of different ways. And I like this instructions. She gives all kinds of different instructions, and The other thing I liked is place a check in the space provided when you believe you have mastered the requirement. So she gives the ability for you to self-evaluate yourself, which is very good because you may think you're doing it right or you may not think you're doing it right, and that gives you her the ability to see what things some students struggle with. So I did like that as well. Nancy Hansel from Philadelphia. This is very small, and this isn't a math lesson per se, but what I liked about the whole setup of this is how she had it set up, and she has a list of things she's talking about from Monday to Friday. She has a do now, and I like, in her first column on Monday, what factors would you consider when determining a selling price of an item? There again, you're not doing a math calculation, but you're logically thinking what comes into play. Instead of just going right out and doing a math problem, you get to think about how to solve the problem and what vocab words, what you think, and it's amazing what students actually come up with that. So thank you very much, Nancy, for that. Justin, our instructor here, sent out a great lesson plan as well, and a nice setup as well with the task, the lesson title, the lesson objectives, and the contents. The neat thing about this is, again, nice setup as far as looks like almost like an Excel sheet or something with columns. But what I really liked about this one is the fact that we all think about conversions and we think about doubling it and tripling it, but he also has halving it, and that's a very interesting concept for students to realize that we're not only increasing all the time, but we may have to take it back. We may have to reduce it. I like where he has, not only does he have the math calculation in it, but he also has the method of doing what he needs to be done as far as doing the conversion as well. And the fact that if you also look at the top of his recipe, the conversion, they not only have to do the math, but they also have to fill out different things, the temperature and the recipe name. Students aren't used to filling out details. They want to just go do the math problem or go do it and get it done with and be finished with it. But really, students need to step back and actually fill out the information required before they do it. That's something that they want to get it done quickly, but really they need to make sure everything's done. And even the temperature and the time mathematically, it works for that too. Lehigh, this is kind of interesting because this is an SOC food service. So this is stepping back and making this very easy for students. But I like the different things. I like the first thing in the lesson, in your own words, what is your definition of a fraction? A great thing for any student. And a lot of students, I'm going to tell you, I've been in a lot of programs, they don't know what a fraction is. They don't understand that the 1/2 is actually the 1 divided by 2, that's a division sign in it. It's a way to talk about the breakdown of the math that they don't get. Because by not knowing that's division, it stops you from realizing that you can convert it to a decimal and you can do more things with it than just look at it as a fraction. I also like this introducing fraction activity where she pulls people in the front of the class and what fraction of the children are standing in the front. A very nice interactive way to start a class that maybe isn't culinary based for sure, but although if you look, do you like eating peanuts? Okay, so there again, if you're a culinary teacher, now you have the opportunity to talk about an allergy, to talk about, if you don't like peanuts, why, or something like that. Or even, do you like math? There's a lot of different things that can open up a lot of great discussions. And actually, this would even work for a beginning of the year activity to get to know students. So very nice idea from Lehigh. Patty Liebfried from Bedford. This is nice. And actually, this looks like, from what I can see, this is created within an Excel spreadsheet. And again, learning to use some of those computer programs mathematically help you too, because Excel is very mathematical. So a very interesting possibility that maybe even, although in here it looks like it's more created to write on, students could actually, if you wanted to, come up with a great activity to use Excel and create their own recipe conversions and see how it converts. Sometimes when you see the formulas and you're creating the formulas in a program like Excel, they're very methodical, and they might actually, when you're creating them, it might actually say to you, oh yeah, that means this divided by that times that, because that's how Excel is set up. So another great idea. And another one, these are great. I don't know if Shane got this from MathAids, but these are great things that come from that MathAids website, and there's a lot of things for Culinary out there on that website. A great opportunity to see these and use those, and that site is actually free. So and it's great. You know, even as just what I used to call sponge activities, where it's just an activity where you can have the worksheets sitting around. In fact, one of the things that I'd like to do here at my school next year is actually create almost like a magazine rack of activities that students or that teachers could pick up to use for students. So that's one of my goals, and it's nice to have them on hand in case you need them and in case students need extra practice. Also, you know, you can use these if you have a resource room at your school. Take one of these, send them to your resource room, and really almost anybody can work with these. You know, even if you're not, you don't have to be a high school math teacher, you know, to be able to do some of these concepts. They're not that difficult. So I appreciate your time in this. Your next step as far as submission and webinar is, if you listen to the Math Mysteries one, if you also listen to this 10-minute one, you can submit a webinar response form. And I think they were already sent, but if not and you don't see it, just contact Jennifer Graham. I did see them. They don't look real difficult to complete. There is a new deadline, May 9th. We do realize there's a lot of things going on. A lot of you just finished your NAFIs. A lot of you have graduation coming up. So the deadline has been moved back to May 9th, 2014, which gives you some time to complete this. If you have any questions about anything that's on here or anything you need, you can contact Jennifer. I actually, for this one webinar, I posted all of your names based on everything that was on the screen because I had so many of you reply. And I'm going to tell you that I really appreciate everything you've sent me. And if your name isn't on this sheet, I didn't post all the math questions if you just sent me some questions. But if your name isn't on the sheet and you feel you submitted them, please let me know. We've had some computer issues here at my school, and sometimes things don't go where they need to go, and I may have just missed it. So I really want to recognize that you have done it, and thank you very much. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your year at your school. Thank you.